Depends on what you mean. If you mean that you cheated on, I don't call that cheating, but if you cheated on your Mass Effect 1 interest in Mass Effect 2, what's going to happen in Mass Effect 3? Like, say you romanced Ashley in Mass Effect 1, and then you, in my case, I romanced Miranda in Mass Effect 2. What's going to happen in Mass Effect 3? If that's what you mean, there is going to be a love triangle between those two in Mass Effect 3, which is going to be freaking epic. But if you mean, could you cheat on your romance in Mass Effect 3? You could. I think you could. I mean, they kind of made that possible in Mass Effect 2 and in Mass Effect 1. It was more, I think it was more powerful in Mass Effect 1, because if you were romancing, like you were trying to romance Ashley and Liara, at a certain point, they both approach you, and Ashley's pretty, like, pissed, and she's like, you gotta choose, Shepard! And then in Mass Effect 2, it kind of happened like that, but it wasn't so much like you were cheating, it was more like, I kind of like her, but I also like her, or him, and, you know, and when you go to one of them, they would say, so what's going on with you? Like, Jacob was really good at making you feel horrible, like, you're gonna go to that Cuttlebone? He was talking about, Garrus, and I was like, get out of my face. I think they are going to address it, but it's going to be more of a, I don't think it's going to be like this huge drama soap opera thing. I think it's going to be more like, well, you have to choose. Who do you want to be with? And depending on who you choose, the other one's not going to, like, pop your face. They're going to, like, you know, they're going to be like, fine. Fine. Yeah. I think you could get the perfect ending without having to save the Rachni in Mass Effect 1. Because the Rachni, they're going to be two things. They're going to be backup for you, and they're also going to be indoctrinated by the Reapers. Because there are Rachni husks. They were shown in the recent trailer that was released in the VGAs. Some people think that those were, what are they called? Those creatures on Tuchanka, they look like spiders or ants and like that. They're not. They're Arachni husks. If you look on Google, you will see the picture of the Arachni husk, and they look exactly like the creature in the trailer. So yeah, I think you could get the perfect ending without having the Arachni, because the Arachni are just support or new enemies. No, I never did, and I probably will never do that. I've actually never done that with any of my characters, just because I create my characters as a character. I don't like to create myself. I create new characters, and I give them the look that all of a sudden just pops into my head, depending on the background that I have in mind for that character. And none of them have looked like me. This question regards the beta leak. This could be a spoiler, but I don't consider it as one, just because I really don't know the answer to this, so I'm not going to be spoiling anything. And it's not a big, huge deal to know about this, but if you really don't want to, I will put an annotation so you can skip it. This really could have just a simple answer. It really could just be that they're using the Shepard from Mass Effect 2, the early Shepard template from Mass Effect 2, just for beta purposes. Not so much, you know, it's not like there's no reason behind it. It's just because it's the beta, we just use that Shepard, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's either that, or maybe a Shepard went through some kind of reparations with the Lazarus project. Maybe he had to go through some reparations. Maybe he had to go through more tests, and his scars opened up again or something. Maybe he's going through some kind of physical side effect where his scars open up again. Or maybe they chose this Shepard because he's the most neutral Shepard. He is the beginning in Mass Effect 2 Shepard for the beta, so that there isn't that whole baggage of him being a renegade or him being a paragon off the bat. And you're like, hey, wait, my Shepard was total renegade and he looks like a paragon. So maybe they're keeping him neutral, where it's like, well, he looks like in the beginning of Mass Effect 2, so it's kind of like, you know, he's pretty neutral, and maybe that's why they did that, because I don't think you're going to be able to import your Shepard from Mass Effect 2 for the beta. I really don't think they're going to be able. You're going to be able to do that. I think you're going to have to play the default Shepard. So maybe that's why they're making him look like that, so that he's pretty neutral and there's no baggage tied to him. There's no Paragon and there's no Renegade tied to him. Just so that there won't be any arguing for the player. Like he looks like a Paragon and I chose a Renegade Shepard. So I don't know. Maybe it's as simple as that. So that's all the questions that I have written down. Hopefully you found that interesting. I found these pretty interesting. Thank you guys for throwing these questions out to me in such short notice when I asked for them today. I had maybe like half of them were previous questions that I had from the past, and then the other half were questions that I got off Facebook and Twitter today. So if you want to be a part of stuff like that I do randomly every now and then, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I'll put the links in the description, because every now and then I do ask you guys little questions here and there. That's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Portal shirt epicness.